Thank you both for joining us this morning. I want to get straight into this discussion because there's two things going on. One is offices across the country are rethinking this post-Labor Day return to the office, and I want to talk about what that means. But I want to talk about the idea of enforcement, actually, because here we have a situation where a lot of companies have been thinking about should they put mandating policies, vaccine mandate policies into effect, and if we do, can we enforce it? How do we enforce it? Jeff Zucker clearly saying, you know what, enough's enough, we're enforcing it. And interestingly, it wasn't just that they weren't vaccinated. Clearly, the issue, I think, the real issue, or at least the legal issue, is that they lied about it. Tom, what do you think?
I think, number one, Jeff Zucker's problem is called Jeff Toobin because it's not equal about how you hold people accountable for lying and poor actions, number one. Number two, I believe that the people could have worked remotely. That's the biggest challenge. What companies aren't saying, you're fired if you don't get vaccinated. They're saying you can't come into the office if you're not vaccinated only. So they're not saying you can't have your job. And they're saying we don't know where this goes, Delta variant or no Delta variant. We'll see. But for the office, for now, vaccinated only. No one is stopping anybody from working or earning a living.
Tom, how do you feel, though, about this? The Washington Post announced a plan that effectively is what might be described as a no vaccine, no paycheck program. They want all of their employees vaccinated. This is not almost irrespective of the office policy, from what I understand. And I think you're going to start to see other companies institute similar plans, especially companies that think that they're mission-driven and want to protect their employees, whether they come to the office or not.
I actually think that it's an okay problem, and I think it's a situation or an okay solution to the problem. Companies they're not discriminating against people because of the color of their skin, their religious beliefs. What they're saying is there is a global pandemic, and because we've gotten to the point that there are vaccines, life is returned pretty much back to normal for people, and then we get people saying this isn't fair. Well, the good news is we have the lowest unemployment rate that we've seen in so long that people can go get a job someplace else. Companies are doing this for the safety of the majority of their employees. That should be applauded. If this had happened any other time in history, it would have been congratulations, you're standing up for what's right. But today there's so much political divisiveness that people want to throw stones at anybody who wants to do what's right for the masses.
Kay Kelly, you've been covering the Wall Street banks for many, many years. They have been the most aggressive about getting people back in the office much earlier than many other industries. And now we have a situation where the Delta variant is with us. Have they changed their plans, and do you expect them to materially change their plans?
Yeah, we're starting to see the rollback already, Andrew, starting yesterday with the fact that BlackRock and Wells Fargo said they're going to delay their fuller mandate to return to the office from an early September timeframe to an early October timeframe. Now, that's only a month. It doesn't make a huge difference. What I'm curious to see, though, is whether that has to be rolled back even further because of the Delta variant. And then you also have what have essentially been at the vanguard of this return to office process, which is Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. So far, they're unbending. Essentially, most of their people are in the office. There are exceptions, but since earlier this summer, they've wanted that to happen. The enforcement issue is a really interesting one, too, and it really sort of varies company to company. I think what CNN did is interesting because if you're not going to enforce the policy, in a way, why have it? I mean, firing somebody may be extreme, and I don't know all the details of that circumstance, but maybe you suspend somebody for a while. Maybe you tell them they can't come back to the office. They have 2 weeks unpaid or what have you. But, if you're not going to enforce it in some way, people may not honor the rule. Now, there are different ways to do it. I understand that at Goldman, for instance, you have to show proof of vaccination. And if you are not vaccinated, you may be working in a separate area than those who are. And you may be subjected to much stiffer masking requirements than others.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.